aside from what can be recycled in this picture, the majority of this stuff will just be buried, put in bags, thrown into landfill, things like that, right? Some of it can be recycled, but even when they try to recycle it, most of it doesn't even get recycled. It just gets like thrown out anyway. The trucks just go around in your neighborhood, pick it up. Then the actual recycling plants go, this isn't worth our time. This isn't worth our time. This isn't worth our time, right? So what you're seeing on the screen is a pile that in this video is going to be turned into diesel fuel. And it really makes you wonder why all municipalities, all small counties, things like that don't have like outside of the town so you don't smell it, why they wouldn't have an incinerator that's making all of their garbage into gas, right? Because you got to think, the garbage trucks all take gas to go pick up all this trash. They could be making their own garbage or like gas from the garbage, go pick up the garbage, bring it back, burn it. There's the fuel to do it again. And anything that can't be burned, then they could just use that fuel again to take it. Because the way that garbage dumps work in a small county, at least in the city, you guys are right there. You have your big dump. But in our smaller counties, the garbage truck comes, takes everything to like a transport station or like a transfer station, I guess it's called. They dump everything and then a bigger truck comes and gets it and brings it into a city. The closest one to me is Toronto. So like Toronto gets most of the garbage from where I am. But a lot of this stuff could be burnt. Like this here is all going to be burnt in this video. I'm going to throw it on in the background. I'll just mute it for a second. All of this is going to be burnt. Every last bit of this is going to be burnt and turned into gas, this big mountain. So if the garbage trucks came, dumped the stuff out, it incinerated, which basically gets rid of the garbage, then you'd have fuel, free fuel, technically, to run the trucks to keep the municipalities and the counties clean. But we don't have anything like that. And it really makes you wonder why. Because honestly, it's obviously big oil companies, things like that, want to make all the money. All of that trash. Think of any big, giant mountains of this stuff is all over the place. And it can be turned into gas. That's exactly what they're going to do in this. So yeah, municipalities should have their own. Don't get me wrong. Maybe it's like really bad for the environment to burn this stuff, but I'm assuming that majority of them are burning this anyway. There's much worse things in the environment. Leaving this in the dirt so that it kind of like leaks down into our dirt and soil and makes it like toxic anyway. So you might as well be burning it, making fuel that you can then use to go around and pick up the trash that's in the neighborhood. So I'm going to throw this on for a sec. This is what he's going to do. He's going to cut this open and fill it with garbage. They hook, I think, 3 tanks to it. I'm not sure if you can hear that music. They'll hook 3 separate tanks to this and burn the garbage within that. And then as there's like a little kind of like tubes, it almost looks like something that you'd see like a moonshine, whatever those are called. I can't remember exactly what those are called, but what they make moonshine with, it almost looks like that. And then each of the jugs has a little bit of gas in it. You can light it. There's fumes that come out of it you can light. So if they did this on massive scales, there are some places when I was trying to find this video, I seen that there are some places that actually do burn their garbage to fuel something. Maybe it's electricity. I'm not exactly sure what they're doing. But for me, what I'm thinking is, honestly, why wouldn't they, the garbage trucks, like the recycling plant companies, why wouldn't they have incinerators, burn it, so maybe they get paid to pick it up, and then they just burn it, and that's their fuel to keep it going, right? So I honestly would love to make something like this, but I think I would blow myself up. I don't really have the best luck when it comes to flammable explosives. So I don't think I'll be doing it. My buddy might be, and if he does, I'll be over there helping, but I'm definitely not going to be, like, I don't weld or anything like that myself. But it looks so easy how they actually get this done. This is the one big tank. This here is going to be to seal it down so that lid can't pop off. They filled out with garbage, light a fire underneath the garbage, not in there. So that's just melting down into like a oozy plastic, right? And then the fumes go up, and the fumes, just like steam, the fumes make like a steam, like a condensation on the pipes and drip down, and that dripping fuel is flammable. It comes in 3 stages. I'm not sure what this guy's gonna do, but the one I was watching yesterday, again, I've never done this. I would like to do it. It'd be cool to be able to make your own fuel out of trash, right? You probably get in trouble for burning it though, but it's within the tank. Yeah, see, there's 3. Close the lid. So I'm just gonna fast forward a bit through this talking. So he gets his bottles. The guy yesterday was burning. We seen one that they were making crude oil, and it was by the same exact thing, except for they were melting tires. They cut up a whole bunch of tires. I believe it was 4 tires, and they got um, maybe like 6 liters of crude oil from it. Not all of it was pure. Some of it they had to strain things out of it, but majority of it was pure crude oil, right? Just made from plastics. Obviously, that's what plastics are: is oil. Rubber is made of oil. Basically, most of our clothing's made of oil. So anything that's going to the dump can almost just be put into one of these things. Imagine it as a large scale though, so that the recycling companies could just get all that things like I'm saying. Obviously, it's like a broken record, but the recycling companies get all of that stuff for free anyway. I believe I'm not sure if the town pays them or what it is. They might make money when they transfer it. I have no idea how recycle plants actually make their money. But if they were to get paid to get it, then do this to just disintegrate it. It's gone. They don't have to waste any gas traveling 3 hours. That's how far it is from where I am. 3 hours with a big truck full of garbage, right? They could just do exactly this. And look, it doesn't look that hard. If you have a few plastic jugs, that stuff there, that fumes is flammable right now. If he lights this, that right there, that smoke, they burn it off. Every video I've seen so far, they've lit this on fire. I'm not sure if it has something to do with like getting rid of it fast or what's going on, but that their steam will make a condensation, which will actually make gas. This one's a lot closer to the fire. I'd be scared if it was mine. I'd have it a little farther, but maybe he's doing it on purpose like that so that it's, see how straight down the pipe is? It's almost straight down. That's all it takes. He keeps on filling this thing all day until that plastic just melts and bubbles in there. And then the oils, you can see it dripping into the 3rd jug, I believe. Yeah, you can see stuff dripping, right? That's all flammable gas. Look at all that. It's crazy. So it really makes you wonder why our governments aren't doing this. Or like where I am, I'm in Canada. So we have a federal government and then we have provincial government. You think the provincial government, rather than like having all their garbage go somewhere else in the world, would have a big incinerator like this? Like, is this bad for the environment? The carbon? I'm sure it is, but the plastic's already made. You're going to leave it in the ground. It's just as bad, I would assume. The government flies everywhere all the time on their jets. Maybe that's worse than this. I don't know a lot about how much this is putting off or what exactly it's putting off into the air, but I know that it is making garbage disappear and fuel. So if there's ever a time when there's no fuel, for whatever reason that might be, if you remember this, it doesn't seem that hard. Boom. So that's just pure petrol, he calls her. So he didn't do as good of a job. The one that I was showing, the one that I watched at my buddy's house, when they did that, it went poof, like completely lit up. He's saying that if you throw it on a fire, yeah, here you go. He's going to toss some onto the fire and it lights up. So it wasn't pure. Whatever he did, obviously he's using plastic. This other guy I watched used like old steel or metal oil cans, and he just had it go through the same way as that guy, except for when it came out of his, it was like pure. He could light it on fire. And then the one that I watched where they made the crude oil, of course, it lit right away. Yeah, look at that. So it's definitely gas, something a flammable liquid coming just from garbage. So maybe they wouldn't be able to make enough, but the recycling companies around here get a lot of trash. And I'm just in a small area, so I don't know what it would be like in the cities, but I'm sure in order for them to clear a city, they're doing a lot of back and forth and back and forth. So if they could just be burning it, making their gas, never having to actually go further than to the road where the recycling is, I think it'd be a lot better. Look at that. That was pretty flammable considering he just made that, right? I don't know, wild. I don't know if I'm going to try this. I think my friend is. I'm going to be there when he does. I don't know how much hands-on I'm going to be with this because, like I said, I'm not the best when it comes to explosives. I don't want to blow myself up, but that's all for that video, guys. That's all I got. We'll see you next time. Thanks. Bye.